Howdy folks, this is Big Sam. Welcome back to the Mosin Museum. You know, a question I get a whole lot is, Big Sam, what kind of Mosin do I have here? And it's kind of unfortunate because I get so many of those, it's kind of difficult to respond sometimes. And let's face it, this isn't a super big channel. If this channel ever gets any bigger, it's going to just get unmanageable with all of the people asking about what kind of Mosins do I have, and I'm not going to be able to respond, unfortunately. So what are we going to do about that? Well, one of the things I've tried to do is I've created a brand new model identification guide. Now, this is different from the previous markings identification guide that we recently pushed to the museum. This new identification guide is specifically for looking at a Mosin, whether it be, you know, at a rack on your local gun shop's wall, or you're at a gun show, or maybe you're just looking at a picture of one online, or maybe even you're looking at a Mosin in a video game, because there's a lot of Mosins in video games, and you're thinking to yourself, well, what is this rascal? Because there's so many different versions of the Mosin that it just gets really confusing and it's really overwhelming. And sometimes it is, even for those of us who are kind of experienced in this, it's especially overwhelming if you don't really have a lot of experience looking at Mosins. So what we've done is I've created a simple guide on the Mosin Museum's webpage, which you can access in the description below. And it's going to run you through the different variants based off of the rear sight base. And this is what I always recommend to anyone when they're trying to figure out, like, what kind of a Mosin am I looking at? You start by looking at the rear sight base. Now, that's not going to get you the whole way there by any stretch of the imagination. This is not going to be a complete guide, but it's got over 99% of the Mosins that you're ever going to come across in your life on there. So, all you got to do is when you're looking at a Mosin, you look at the rear sight base, you stare at that rascal for a while, and you could pull up this web page on the Mosin Museum, and you scroll through it until you see, oh, that's the sight base of the gun that I'm looking at. And then you can hit expand on the model's accordion, and then it's going to show you all of the different models that have that rear sight. That's really the best way to break down the Mosin variants, is by the rear sight. So, like for M91 sights, for instance, you're going to open up that and you'll see all the different variants that have an old, like, Konovalov style rear sight. So you'll see the M91s there, you'll see the Dragoons there, you'll see, well, there's actually a separate section for M27. See, it kind of already gets confusing, but you'll see the M28 there. You'll see an M91 RV in there, which we haven't talked about yet, but there's a lot of cool stuff in there. So whether you're really new to the Mosin game, or you know, you've been around for a while, but you could just use a quick refresher, almost like flashcards, it's a really simple and I think pretty effective way to just periodically, you can go on there and just refresh yourselves with, oh, that's what that is, that's what that looks like. So I hope you guys check it out when you get a chance. Again, it's not everything, it's not completely comprehensive, but it's pretty good. I'm really curious to get people's feedback, especially those who, you know, this is mostly tailored for the folks that just don't really know what they're looking at. The seasoned veterans of this channel, you know, maybe not so much, but the folks that maybe just inherited a Mosin from their grandparents, and they're like, I don't even know what this thing is, Big Sam. That's really what we're trying to help people with the most here with this model identification guide. So again, you can access it from the link below, or you'll also be able to access it from the main models page on the museum. I'm going to be adding a new button in that page that you can click, and it'll take you to that as well. So check it out if you guys get a chance. I really appreciate your feedback on it. Really appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned. We got a lot of really cool stuff coming down the pipeline very soon. So let me know if you guys got any prayer requests, and we'll see you next time.